And in fact, I'm already working on The Fifth Age, which is a book about when we start populating beyond Earth, when as a species we branch out into the solar system, and what that will do to us, or what that will mean for us as a species. So for me to be writing that book, I have to think we're going to get there to the fifth age, which means we survived the fourth age.
Yeah, I think we will. I don't know if we're gonna. I used to think that we were gonna leave, here, this planet. If we did, I used to think it would be because we had destroyed this one. But
No,
I'm
I
starting
think we
to.
will follow a pattern that as a species we've already followed. When you think about, and I'll use one of the most obvious example, which is the discovery of the New World, which no one realized existed until Leif Erikson stumbled across it. And over time, what we did is we went through a process of discovery, and then exploration, and then exploitation, and then colonization. And then after that, what I'll call consolidation, when a number of the new colonies sort of came together, and then rebellion. So that is a pattern that we've already seen humans play out.
Mm-hmm.
And we're doing it for greed. We'll go out and we'll exploit it, and then we'll colonize it, and then we'll get into fights. And so I could see that pattern playing out, and that's what I'm trying to flesh out in the fifth age.
I think by the time we get to a point where we can leave, I'm hoping that whoever's in charge of that, or whoever is on that at the forefront of that, has enough wisdom about them that they can. I don't know. Like, I feel like we're past the point. Like, hey, look, we all understand what happened back when, civilization started branching out, and we were just kind of fighting everybody because we didn't get it. Like, we couldn't see the bigger picture like we can see now. We're looking back and we're like, we were fighting because we quote found this, piece of land and someone else was on it or whatever. I would like to think that we're far enough along now as a civilization, as a species, that we can do that without fighting.
That's the hope. But I'll mention recent research which speaks to, historically, psychologists, psychiatrists would talk about, we've got two brains.
Mm-hmm.
We've got the front brain, the modern brain. We have this back lizard primitive brain.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Ooh. And the thought was the modern brain evolved in order to keep that primitive brain under control, the one that overreacts violently,
Mm-hmm.
and does all of those other bad things, that instinctive brain.
Right.
Well, more recent research suggests that, in fact, the role of the modern brain is not to control the primitive brain. Rather, the role of the modern brain is to come up with a persuasive story to tell your group about why you're going to do what your primitive brain wants you to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
pretty,
think
that sounds
about
right.
how groups behave when different groups are confronting the same information, and they analyze it to generate knowledge. Two different groups looking at the same facts will come up with two diametrically opposing conclusions as to what the right course of behavior is.
And the right course obviously lines up with whatever their interests are.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
damn it.
The question is, can we ever, our instincts enabled us to survive as far as we've gotten. Are they going to help us or kill us in that future when we expand out, because we're not all going to leave the planet,
No.
but we're now going to have populations in different places that don't have anything in common with each other anymore. If you think,
Yeah. Well, I don't know. So let's say we colonize Mars. Let's say that happens. I would argue, as a matter of fact, I'm going to say I 100% guarantee you that there would be as much of a cultural difference between somebody who lives on Mars and someone who lives in Greenville, North Carolina, where I am. I would say there's as much of a cultural difference between me and them as there is between me and someone who lives in Burbank, California. Because
perhaps
I think at that point they'll have the same access to the same entertainment, the same things going on, and like we'll have TV shows coming from Mars. We'll know who celebrities are on Mars. They'll know who celebrities are here, because if we colonized Mars, we have satellites that are allowing us to communicate pretty close to real time.
Yeah, the question is whether interests align. All I know is that the American colonies fought a revolution, and we were English, okay, and considered ourselves English, and but we had a different economic circumstance and a different set of drivers because our environment was fundamentally different than England, that drove us apart. It took time, but it did eventually drive us apart. The same happened with the Spanish in Central and South America, between the Spanish colonization of those countries and the eventual revolutions in all of them that separated them from Mother Spain.
Mm-hmm.
So you may be right. I don't. That's exactly what I'm going to research in the next book.
Hey there. Hope you enjoyed that clip. You can find more clips like this and full video episodes of the Small Stuff Podcast on our YouTube channel. You can also listen to full episodes of the Small Stuff Podcast in audio form wherever it is you get your podcasts: Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Amazon Music, Audible, all the places. Also, follow us on social media. We're on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. All the links are in the description. Have a nice day.